These three ancient inventions were 1,000 years ahead of us. What if I told you that some of the most revolutionary technologies we use today were actually invented thousands of years ago? What if our ancestors were far more advanced than we ever imagined? Today, we're diving deep into three incredible ancient inventions that were literally centuries ahead of their time. These innovations will completely change how you view ancient civilizations. Our first invention takes us back to ancient Greece, around 100 BCE. Picture this. You're diving in the Mediterranean Sea near the Greek island of Antikythera when suddenly, you discover what looks like a corroded piece of bronze. Little did anyone know, this discovery would rewrite history books forever. This device is called the Antikythera Mechanism, and it's been dubbed the world's first analog computer. But here's what's absolutely mind-blowing about this invention. This ancient Greek device could predict solar eclipses, track the movements of planets, calculate the timing of the Olympic Games, and even predict lunar phases with incredible accuracy. The complexity of this machine is staggering. It contains over 30 bronze gears that work together in perfect harmony. The craftsmanship required to create such intricate mechanisms wouldn't be seen again in Europe until astronomical clocks appeared in the 14th century. That's more than 1,300 years later. Think about this for a moment. While most people believe that complex mechanical computers weren't invented until the modern era, the ancient Greeks were already creating sophisticated calculating machines that could perform astronomical calculations with remarkable precision. The gear ratios in this device are so precise that they accurately represent the relationships between various celestial cycles. Modern scientists spent decades trying to understand how this machine worked. They used advanced X-ray tomography and 3D modeling to peer inside the corroded bronze and reconstruct its mechanisms. What they found was engineering sophistication that rivaled Swiss clockwork from centuries later. The Antikythera mechanism proves that ancient Greek engineers possessed mathematical and mechanical knowledge that we seriously underestimated. This wasn't just a simple astrolabe or sundial. This was a sophisticated computer that could process multiple variables simultaneously to produce accurate predictions about celestial events. Now let's travel to medieval Syria and explore one of history's most legendary materials, Damascus steel. For over 500 years, from roughly 300 to 1700 CE, Middle Eastern blacksmiths created the finest steel the world had ever seen. These weren't just ordinary swords. They were engineering marvels that modern science struggled to recreate for centuries. Damascus steel blades were renowned throughout the ancient world for their incredible properties. They could cut through European swords like butter, yet they were flexible enough to bend without breaking. Warriors would demonstrate their Damascus blades by cutting through a silk scarf dropped onto the blade's edge, then immediately chopping through a block of wood without damaging the sword. But here's where it gets really fascinating. These ancient smiths somehow figured out how to create steel with carbon nanotube structures embedded within the metal matrix. Carbon nanotubes weren't officially discovered by modern science until 1991. Yet medieval blacksmiths were unknowingly creating them over 1,000 years earlier. The secret lay in a specific type of steel called wood steel, imported from India. This steel contained trace amounts of vanadium and other elements that, when heated and worked using specific techniques passed down through generations, formed microscopic carbon nanotubes within the steel structure. These nanotubes gave Damascus steel its legendary strength and flexibility. The distinctive watered pattern on Damascus steel blades wasn't just decorative. It was visual evidence of the complex microstructure within the metal. Each blade showed unique patterns that resulted from the careful manipulation of carbon distribution during the forging process. What makes this even more remarkable is that the knowledge was lost around 1700 CE. The specific techniques, the sources of proper wood steel, and the generational knowledge disappeared. For centuries, metallurgists and historians tried to recreate true Damascus steel. It wasn't until the late 20th century that scientists finally understood the nanotechnology that ancient smiths had mastered through pure experimentation and craftsmanship. Modern attempts to recreate Damascus steel require electron microscopy, advanced materials science, and precise temperature control. Yet medieval blacksmiths achieved similar results using nothing more than charcoal fires, hammers, and generations of accumulated knowledge. Our final invention takes us to ancient Rome, where engineers created a concrete so advanced that it's still standing strong after 2,000 years. While modern concrete structures begin deteriorating after just 50 to 100 years, Roman concrete actually becomes stronger over time. How is this possible? Roman engineers developed a concrete formula that was incredibly sophisticated. They mixed volcanic ash called pozzolan with lime and seawater to create a chemical reaction that produced a concrete unlike anything we use today. But the real genius wasn't just in the ingredients. It was in understanding the long-term chemistry. Here's what makes Roman concrete absolutely revolutionary. When cracks develop in the concrete, seawater enters and reacts with the lime clast still present in the mixture. This reaction produces new calcium carbonate crystals that literally heal the cracks automatically. The concrete becomes a self-repairing material that grows stronger with age and exposure to seawater. Modern scientists studying Roman concrete discovered that the ancient formula creates a microstructure that's incredibly resilient. The volcanic ash creates a crystalline structure that prevents crack propagation, while the lime clasts act as a reservoir for self-healing reactions that can continue for centuries. The Pantheon in Rome, built in 126 CE, still stands today, with its original concrete dome intact. This dome, spanning 43 meters, was the largest unreinforced concrete dome in the world for over 1,300 years. Roman aqueducts, bridges, and harbor structures built with this concrete continue to function today, while modern concrete infrastructure requires constant maintenance and replacement. What's truly remarkable is that this technology was lost during the fall of the Roman Empire. The specific knowledge of mixing ratios, the sources of proper volcanic ash, and the techniques for working with this concrete disappeared. It's only in the last few decades that materials scientists have begun to understand the sophisticated chemistry that Roman engineers mastered through experimentation. Today, researchers are trying to recreate Roman concrete formulas to develop more sustainable modern construction materials. The environmental benefits would be enormous, as Roman concrete production generated far less carbon dioxide than modern cement manufacturing. These three inventions prove that our ancestors possessed scientific and engineering knowledge that was centuries ahead of its time. The Antikythera Mechanism demonstrates sophisticated understanding of astronomy and mechanical engineering. Damascus steel shows mastery of metallurgy and nanotechnology. Roman concrete reveals advanced chemistry and materials science. What's most inspiring about these ancient innovations is that they were achieved through careful observation, experimentation, and the accumulation of knowledge across generations. These inventors didn't have modern laboratories or computer simulations. They had curiosity, persistence, and brilliant minds that pushed the boundaries of what was possible. Perhaps it's time we looked at ancient civilizations with more respect and recognized that human ingenuity has always been capable of extraordinary achievements, regardless of the era.